Oh boy. What's up, everyone? Breaking news. We've got some of our own COVID problems here in Seattle, it looks like. Not nearly as big, not nearly as pronounced. I mean, there's no comparison between what's going on in LA right now and what's going on here, but we have finally received some of the bad news. I said in a video a couple days ago that the Seahawks have done a better job than probably any other team in the NFL at keeping a lid on the COVID problem, which I praised them for. And even after today, that is probably still the case, but nevertheless, we've got some positive tests. Per Brady Henderson on Twitter, the Seahawks have placed wide receiver Tyler Lockett and running back Alex Collins on the COVID-19 list, the team announced. My understanding is both players are vaccinated. Now, if that last sentence is indeed the case, that means that both players would need to produce a negative test tomorrow and a negative test on Saturday in order to play against the Rams. I believe. I don't know if they can maybe take a test later today and have it come back negative and then take another one tomorrow. I don't know exactly the way they do things. Hopefully they can get a negative test later today because that would make things a lot easier. That would give us some, I mean, it's not margin for error, but it would alleviate the timeline here just a little bit. So, yeah, that sucks. And I don't know how far this has to go before this game gets postponed. But if the Rams players don't start returning negative COVID tests, then we're going to be in range, right? I mean, they've got 17 people on the COVID list now. They've got a lot of their better players as well. Guys like Jalen Ramsey are on there. Rob Havenstein's on there. So I don't know what point the league would say, you know what, this game's going to be a farce. But we got to be getting in range, right? And the ramifications for this Seahawks team with this now are pretty obvious. Tyler Lockett is having a really good season. Tyler Lockett is one of the guys who is actually overachieving this year. Tyler Lockett looks better than I expected this year. He's one of the few guys on this team who has played above his head, I think. Well, maybe not above his head, but I wasn't expecting him to be as dominant as he has been this year. He may end up with like a 1,300, 1,400 yard season, which, hell, he had to play some games with Geno Smith, so he's one of the guys who's been carrying a little bit here, and if we don't have him against the Rams, then that talent disparity that I was talking about that was shrinking, it widens a little bit again, right? And Alex Collins really hasn't done that much lately, but he's still going to play, or he still would have played, so I'm not going to pretend like it's completely trivial. So hopefully this isn't something that affected other players on this team. Hopefully this isn't something that's going to turn into a full-blown spread. But we have problems now. And at this point, I wonder if the league is going to step in and say, you know what, let's time out. Because the Rams situation, as far as I know, is getting worse. It's not getting better, and now we've got this. And by the way, like I just insinuated, the fact that we have this pretty strongly implies that we could end up seeing more positive tests in the upcoming days. Okay, so there's your breaking news for the day. Tyler Lockett, Alex Collins, positive tests. Cannot play unless they produce 2 negative tests over the next couple of days here, if there is indeed a game to play. Let me know what you guys think down below. I guess it had to happen eventually, right? I mean, this team has done an extraordinary job keeping a lid on this, so had to happen eventually. They're still probably the best team at the league at not being hampered by the COVID problem, but it came.